Kyiv's Operation Spiderweb was prepared in top-secret conditions for 18 months under direct oversight of President Zelensky. Its result was an attack of astonishing ingenuity, unprecedented, broad and devastating both for Russia's military capabilities and for the Kremlin's image. On June 1st, more than 100 Ukrainian drones simultaneously attacked 5 strategic air bases thousands of kilometers inside Russia. Their target was clear: Moscow's nuclear-capable long-range bombers, so far mercilessly attacking civilian targets across Ukraine in the course of Putin's unlawful invasion. The scale of the operation was mind-blowing, with explosions reported across 3 time zones all over Russia, as far north as Murmansk above the Arctic Circle and as far east as the Amur region over 8,000 kilometers from Ukraine. According to the Ukrainian security forces, it was one of the most complex operations in the country's history, and with its scope and effects, it will certainly find its place in military textbooks around the globe.
There's certainly been a degree of mythology in Russia that the motherland is safe and no enemy will be able to harm it. Well, Kyiv has shown that that's not true. They can reach anywhere. The fact that Ukraine was striking thousands of kilometers away from the front line means Russian military planners now, their mind has to just be paranoid from the outside.
Military expert Francis Tusa told BBC on Monday. The small military drones used in the attack were reportedly assembled already on Russian soil and installed under the roofs of specially prepared shipping containers. They were transported into the vicinity of the strategic targets by commercial freight trucks with drivers unaware of the cargo they were carrying. Then, when the hours struck, simultaneously the roofs were remotely opened and 117 drones took off towards designated targets, destroying and damaging precious military equipment in an attack of surgical precision, with Russian on-site security often caught completely by surprise, in some cases trying to stop the drones with rocks, branches and bare hands. The result? As reported by the head of Ukraine's security service, Vasyl Malyuk, who led the team preparing the operation, in total 34% of Russia's strategic cruise missile carriers have been damaged or destroyed.
At least 41 aircraft were hit. The latest assessments coming out on Monday are that at least 13 Russian aircraft were completely destroyed and that the other dozens that were hit were at least damaged. So this is a major blow to Russia's capabilities because a lot of these aircrafts, according to Ukraine, were being used to target Ukraine with missiles every night. And so these are the same planes that are launching missiles that have struck civilians in towns, cities, and villages all across this country for 3 years.
The Washington Post's Ukraine bureau chief Siobhan O'Grady informed on Post Reports podcast published June 2nd. The estimated value of Moscow's affected strategic aviation exceeds $7 billion, while the cost of the drones used in the attack is estimated below a mere $70,000. It was not only a military blow but also a symbolic show of force ahead of the resumption of peace talks in Istanbul. The enemy thought they could bomb Ukraine endlessly and with impunity, but this is not the case. We will respond to Russian terror everywhere, at sea, in the air and on the ground, Maluk declared, adding that people who facilitated the operation in the field were withdrawn from Russian territory and are now safe. Ukrainian officials emphasized the fact that the target of the attack was strictly military. This is the demilitarization of Russia in accordance with the law of war. Our attacks will continue as long as Moscow terrorizes Ukraine's civilian population, Ukraine's security service chief pointed out. Our forces have conducted a brilliant operation, carried out deep inside enemy territory and exclusively against military targets, against the very same equipment used in strikes against Ukraine. Russia's losses were very tangible and they were absolutely just and deserved. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a video address on social media posted in the evening hours of June 1st. In response, Russians launched another set of savage strikes on Ukrainian civilian targets. The most recent, for the time being, hit the city of Sumy on Tuesday morning, where Putin's forces directly targeted houses and streets with rocket artillery, killing and wounding numerous non-combatant Ukrainians. That alone says everything one needs to know about Russia's so-called desire to end this war. President Zelensky commented on social media, concluding his tweet on yet another Moscow's barbaric attack. For News from Poland, Marcin Matuszewski.